Croeso Sianel Blaid Llwyd. Welcome home to Harverton. So we're back with Beyond the Harbour R. And we're starting chapter 2 here, which seems kind of suitable for a Halloween weekend. Anyway, let's just get on with things here. This is chapter 2, Recall. Oliver? Oliver Blanche, are you here? The voice rings out across the waves again. I don't stop my pace. 1 step, 2. Everything that led to this. Everything you've come to regret. Can you see it now? Its face, permanently burned into my psyche, speaks to me. You disgust me. I try to look away from my memories of him, but each time they fade from view, they only come back more blinding than ever. You couldn't let go of me, even if I told you what we were. Nothing. He yanks his hand out of mine, violently. Hey! I told you not to touch me. But you... No. He crosses his arms. I told you exactly what you're allowed to do. No touching unless I tell you to. Okay. The sun's head across the horizon reflects on the waves as Don's face becomes cloaked in inky shadow. He sees me staring and scowls. What are you looking at? Is there something on my face? My smile never fades away. Oliver? Oliver Blanche, you here? I never left. Hey, you didn't pick up your phone, so I let myself in. Are you still asleep in there? I feel like I am. Nothing feels real anymore. There's a knock on my bedroom door, followed by an all too familiar voice. I hope you're decent, 'cause I'm opening your door. I could close my eyes again. Maybe. I hadn't blinked in ages, though. My eyes were just glass orbs. What was even left to see at this point? I'm jolted from my slumber as an intruder barges into my space. God damn it, I had a feeling I'd find you like this. The imposing polar bear standing in my doorway holds her hands on her hips while she scans over me disapprovingly. You promised me you'd be ready when I got here at 10. She sighs. Some things never change, do they? I yawn and raise my long arms to the ceiling before I can get a response out. She interrupts me by shaking her head. Don't worry about it. Hurry up and meet me downstairs when you're ready, please. My friend only shrugs her shoulders in response to her walking out of my room. I sigh once I hear the shuffling of her feet down the hall. I'm sorry. My morning routine today is the same as it always is. I can tell as much as soon as my feet touch the floor. I already wish I was back in bed. Too late for that, though. I scavenged the floor for a pair of shorts that hadn't been worn too many times. I eventually settled for a black pair that smelled a little off, but nowhere near as bad as the others. Once those are secured on my waist, I shuffle out of the room and into the bathroom, where I leave the night's build-up of piss. Any day where you wake up and there's no blood in it, that's a good day. That quote stuck in my head ever since I first heard it in junior high. Can't remember who said it. I walk over to the sink and inspect myself in the mirror. It's you, you disgusting sack of shit. I grab my toothbrush out of its case and begin the daily process of squeezing this emaciated corpse of a toothpaste tube. It's been wrung out from every conceivable angle by this point. After considerable effort, it manages to gasp out one last remnant of minty freshness. Good enough. I begin to massage my teeth and gums with the semi-hard bristles of my old brush. I'd received it for Christmas last year from my older sister. Honestly, it's preferable to my usual gift of nothing. Or, if I was lucky, some off-brand cologne set our parents had obviously grabbed out of a bargain bin for her to give me. At least I'd actually use a toothbrush. Once I feel my teeth have been successfully deplaqued, I turn the sink back on and cup my hands together to get some water, raise them to my lips to rinse. Sometime today, Oliver! I spit the water out in shock. Luckily, most of it ends in the sink. Shall we? The polar bear stands in the doorframe behind me. I can feel the weight of her judgment as she shakes her head slowly and folds her arms. I told you already running behind, didn't I? I pull the toothbrush out of my mouth and spit into the sink before facing her again. Yeah, I sort of spaced out again. I smile awkwardly, foam from the toothpaste coating my lips and just generally making me look a fool. She sighs aloud. I'll be waiting in the car. Hurry it up in here, okay? I nod my head, turning my full attention back to the sink. The water runs steadily from the faucet down into the drain in a clear, continuous stream. Water. No, I said I wouldn't get distracted again. I run my toothbrush under the water shortly before turning the faucet off. The toothbrush returned to its proper holster. I flip off the bathroom light switch and make my way towards the front door. While in a power walk, I gently pat my hoodie's pocket. Phone's there. Yep, good to go. Near the entrance to my home, I quickly slide my feet into my sandals. Quite possibly the easiest footwear one could own. The door opens with little grandeur as I quickly step out and close it behind me. As soon as I do, V glares at me with disappointed eyes from the driver's side of her car. She points back to the door and pinches her thumb while twisting her hand to indicate. Oh, fuck, the door. I turn back around, pretend to lock the door and sprint to the passenger side of V's car. The polar bear types on her phone as I yank on the handle. Nothing. The door refuses to budge. I yank again, and again, and again, expecting a different result every time. I break into a panicked sweat, pulling my whole being into forcing this car door open. V side-eyes me, pressing the send key on the message she was typing before pressing the lock with the most graceful touch. Unfortunately, she does this just as I yank on the door, my most forceful attempt yet. I had not properly braced for the force of it opening, and I smack the door into my vulnerable stomach and groin. The bear buries her face in her hands as I stumble backwards. Are you quite done? The short drive out of the Bay Area is mostly uneventful. We partake in a bit of idle chatter. The sound of tyres gently rolling over asphalt consumes most of the trip. Once we enter the city proper, however, my memories of the city spark to life and shine a beacon on the quiet streets. Harverton was hardly a major city, separated from the rest of Virginia on the Delmarva. I don't have a lot of memories from when I was a kid. When I can piece together my time around Baton Rouge, Harverton was different. Perfect place to hide a body, my sister said when we first arrived. Dozing off again? I shake my head. Oh no, just thinking about the city. Harverton? She scoffs. Hardly a city. Haven't you been to DC? I shrug my shoulders, rolling my head back a bit. Don't think I've been out of this city since you took me on that ski trip in '08. The bear briefly looks at me before turning her attention back to the road. Didn't your sister get married last year? Yeah, didn't go. She squints. And you said your parents were out this weekend because? I had taken a trip to the Bahamas with my sister and her husband. Her brow raises briefly, before settling back down to a more natural position. But you're here? I shake my head, folding my hands comfortably in my sweater's pocket. Yeah, I wasn't interested. She reaches towards the centre console to adjust the AC, turning it up. She smiles, the air ruffles her fur even more intensely. I just retreat further into my sweater. The passenger's side vent blows directly onto me, quickly lowering my body temperature to a much lower level than I'd like. Cold. Cold. I tuck my hands into my pockets, doing my best to contain what little body heat I had remaining. The last thing I'd want to do was embarrass myself. Don, on the other hand, walks well ahead of me. He stops to glance back every so often, and every time our eyes meet, I turn away. The heat my face was emanating could fry an egg. If only that was enough to stop the shivering. The cold September breeze races across the waves, rolling onto the beach and lifting a bit of the sand. Nighttime was just around the corner, and the hateful gaze of the orange and yellow light just above the harbour provided next to no heat. Are you coming? I snap my gaze back to my friend and shout to him. Yeah, sorry. I jog to catch up to him. Are we going to the... Yes. He continues his pace as if he were on a mission. My short legs do their best to keep up. His message flashes back in my mind. Need to talk, on my way to pick you up. It seemed simple, but the way my heart soared when I read it would surely stick with me forever. I read over those 8 words at least 200 times before he actually showed up. The endless possibilities of what awaited me droned around my skull like an angry wasp, filling me with an overwhelming sense of excitement and dread. Me? Don wants to talk to me? Alone? It's like something out of a cheesy made-for-TV movie. It all hits me again and I clam up. My legs stop working and my heart explodes. The shrapnel pierces my lungs, cutting off my ability to breathe. Without breath, my brain goes fuzzy. An image of Don ahead of me starts to distort. Did you forget, Ollie? Eh? Her lips curve into a soft smile. You remember what I said about apathy, right? I tilt my head, not sure what she's talking about. Oh? She pulls the car into park on the street before making eye contact with me, raising a devious finger. My valedictorian speech, yes? Did you sleep through it? I shrugged my shoulders. Couldn't even tell what year she was talking about. Well, I repeat it here for your sake. She clears her throat before continuing. After you're born, you learn to care. But once you stop caring, that's the end of your life. She pauses. I can't remember where it came from, but it stuck with me when I read it. Her eyes shine brightly in the dim light filtering in through her window. Ollie. I tense up as her soft expression searches my guilty face. I'm sorry. I know I've been kind of distant for a while. She shakes her head. That's no excuse. I should have at least called. My heartbeat intensifies, thundering like a war drum. My stomach churns in turn. I know I've said it 1,000 times, but it bears repeating. She inhales deeply before exhaling a long, proud breath. I don't blame you for any of the things Don did. You didn't know what he was up to, and I'm stupid to think otherwise at the time. The vicious rumbling crawls its way up my spine, causing every nerve to squirm in discomfort. He hurt everybody. She looks away from me. You may have been hurt the worst, and I accept some blame for that. So, if this dredges up any nastiness, I'm sorry. My mind is blank, and while words catch in my throat, I don't respond. We sit there in silence for a good while, neither daring to broach the topic again. I close my eyes. For all that exists in my head is dark, foggy memories of events I'm not even sure happened. Hey, Ollie. I slowly turn my head towards her and make eye contact. Go and head to the bus stop. I've got to take this call. She gives me a weak smile. I'll catch up soon, I promise. I close my eyes, not saying a word as I undo my seatbelt and quietly exit the vehicle. As soon as I shut the door behind me, I can see her swipe hastily on her phone and put it up to her ear. She looks back at me before giving me a final, tired smile and turning her full attention to the caller. I close my eyes, shaking my head. I wasn't dumb. My flip-flops clap against the soles of my feet as I walk down the sidewalk. The claps of sole and shoe blend into the sounds of the street. It was a pretty quiet day by city standards. People of all types pass me, the occasional sorry if someone gets too close going the opposite way. They hide their faces from me, the people of this town. They always have. They all blend together. The best I could tell was a vague appearance and a job title. It could be said for the ones who had faces anyway. The rest had long since blended into a vague memory of a person that once existed. I try not to look, keeping my head low and my eyes on the ground. The beat of my heart pulses through my big ears, each contraction of the muscle echoing inside my skull. Tired. Why am I already so tired? The trip to the bus terminal was mercifully short, but I still feel the overwhelming urge to sit myself down. I've never really had the energy to do anything too strenuous, but these last few years I felt even basic activities become more difficult. My knees are wobbly, my vision is blurred, my lungs are working overtime breathing in the salty sea air. And after, an 11-minute walk? I practically collapse into a nearby bench, my bones audibly creaking as I do. God, I'm pathetic. I just need a few minutes of shut-eye. I lean forward, resting my head in a cradle of fingers. Just a minute. His breath echoes throughout the silent darkness. I'm just... A faint blue light catches my eyes as the moon reveals herself to me. The horizon. I didn't get to say goodnight to you, did I? Gasping for air, my eyes shoot open. I'm blinded by moonlight. Ah, fuck! Sam yells out behind me. Ah, fuck you, I nearly dropped my phone in the water. I shake my head, trying to make any sense of what was happening. The cat gets out from his seated position, walking over to me. Bug? You swallowed a bug? Is that why you're over here causing a scene? I stand at the edge of the dock on unsteady legs, looking out towards the horizon. Completely unmoved, I stood where I was before. My mind races a mile a minute, senses returning to me all at once. I shout out the one word that repeatedly jumps to the top of my mind. Oliver! I cry out his name, hoping, praying for anything. What? No, that's not one of the approved pet names. Just Sam is fine. You're feeling spicy. With a sudden pressure assaulting my insides, I lurch over and spew my dinner into the ocean. Well, it can wait. Oh my God. I stumble into the darkness after Sam opens the door for me. The hotel room was pitch black. I remember the layout when I had to find my way to the futon by the bed. Ain't no complaining. I recoil as the lights flip on. I warned you that you ate way too much food. He steps over to me, leaning against the far wall of the room. And if you're going to puke again, try to hit the toilet. And you may want to take that shirt off. Still feeling woozy, I place a hand on my chest. I need a shower. Hope you brought some extra clothes. Thought my stuff would fit you. In fact, I think I only have one pair of pants. After sloppily unbuttoning my shirt and sliding out of it, I flop onto my back. I shield my eyes with my inner elbows. The futon creaks under my weight. I might have an extra shirt in my car, maybe. I hear his foot tap, each tap of shoe against tile rattling around in my skull. Hey, are you even listening to me right now? I shake my head, still holding my arm to my eyes. Come on, I know you're paying attention. Unfortunately. My eyes bulge against the lids as he snaps his fingers. I can feel his disgustingly toothy smile beaming on me. I suppose I could let you pass out right now. But I'll be pointing the fan right at you. Don't think I can sleep with that smell of salt in me all night. I don't even respond to him at this point. Rest. I want to rest. But the memories of Oliver remain fresh on my brain. Memories? Is that what those were? As if the long, gangly arms were still wrapped around me, inserting shadowy fingers into my eye sockets. While my first instinct was to be sceptical of the nightmare, deep inside I knew it was real. I could see through his eyes. I could feel the hopelessness woven into every fibre of his being. The moonlight pouring through the window above sends a chill up my spine as my heart beats in my ears. Wayward thoughts float behind my eyelids, with one in particular staring back at me clear as day. What were you, Oliver? Rather, what are you? The end of chapter 2. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really interested in what's going on here and what is happening. And if you are just watching Beyond the Harbour R, I do have still the playlist up of Beyond the Harbour, the original version, where we can see a little of what was going on. Maybe. I don't know how much has been reworked, but I do have that playlist going, so you can check out that. Anyway, as always, there will be a description. I can't talk today. It's the second time I messed up on a video today. There'll be a link in the description where you can download Beyond the Harbour R, and also the Patreon link if you'd like to go and support the effort which goes into making this VN. And I can tell you that there's a lot more work goes into these VNs than I ever put into these videos. Trust me on this. So it's a good thing to support. But of course people do support me as well, which brings me rather neatly to my top patrons. So I'd like to give special thanks to Kartek, Gobus Visser, Besuksu, Dissonance, Sindri Dragowolf, Tiger Cub, Gunnar Muller, Kopi, Marcus, Lark Huskerton, Bastian, Brandon Bradford, Ida Corval, Anubis Silverwind, Brian Hall, Sumuto, David Taylor, Evan King, and Grizz. And of course, thanks to all my patrons. I very much appreciate the fact that you give me money every month. I don't know why you do, but it's very nice, especially when I pay for a new graphics card. So that is it for now for Beyond the Harbour R. The next time we get an update out, I can assure you I will be making a video for it. And I hope you'll be with us for that one. That's it for now. So, thanks for watching. Until next time, I'll leave you with the credits. Bye for now.